How's it going, Chris?
Hey, Mark, how are you?
I'm good. I can't complain, man. It's a lot more sun out today, so I'm very happy about that.
It's a beautiful day today.
Yeah,
Gosh, the
really
weather
is.
changed overnight
Yeah,
in a positive
yeah,
way.
definitely.
Ah, loving that low humidity.
That part. It's perfect for football season, so I'm anxious to get going on that.
Right, and that starts what, tonight, tomorrow?
Yeah, tonight. Yep.
Okay, good stuff.
How are you doing?
Oh, pretty well.
Imagine
Yeah,
juggling
hanging
a
in
lot.
there. What's
Yeah.
that?
So imagine you're juggling a lot, juggling a lot.
Yeah, I've got a little note on my door that says caution plate spinning in progress. Trying to keep all the plates up in the air, but
I hear
we're
that,
doing
man.
okay.
Well, hang in there.
Thank you. Yeah, we will.
Yep. So we got the group joining in here.
Yeah, there's Antoine.
I don't see much of the commission here.
Saw a note from Andrea Copeland, and she won't be joining.
You won't be able to make it? Yeah, I haven't got it.
That was just in the last hour, I think.
Yeah.
Afternoon, everybody.
How you doing,
Hi,
Antoine?
Antoine.
Good afternoon.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you, Chris.
Likewise.
How's everyone doing?
Hi, Sarah.
Hey.
Doing well, sir. How are you?
Oh, trying to get through the day. It's a Friday.
Hopefully you guys have a 3-day weekend ahead, I imagine, right? With labor. Yeah.
We do.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah.
How, do you not, Mark?
I do. And honestly, I say that because I forgot it was a holiday coming up. So
I did too, actually. Yeah.
that's just one of those things that you just kind of get so in the habit of work that you just don't even realize the holiday's coming.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Hi,
beautiful.
all.
Yeah, this is going. Hey, Karen.
I apologize. I'm not on video yet. I'm pulling up to the airport. I'm going to park and then I can turn my camera on. But I'm just finishing my little drive to try to get on a flight at 5 today.
No worries. Thanks for joining.
Zoom link. I can't find it. Okay.
Hi, Bernice.
Sorry, I was muted. Hello.
That's better. Hello.
Lasheen?
Hey, Sarah.
Hey. I just got, or was that through the chat? Did anyone see a message come through from the mayor saying she can't find, I guess it didn't come through the chat, but I just saw something come through saying the mayor can't find the Zoom link and she would like it mailed.
I can send her another one.
That would be fantastic. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, no, I got a reminder that came through 5 minutes before the meeting with the link in it again. Maybe she saw that. But
Yeah, I did too, so I'm not sure what happened. Oh no.
It was just sent, so she should be getting it shortly.
Perfect.
She can also come through the public link, and then I can just add her from the attendees if you guys are in contact with her.
Okay, great. Thank you. Let's see.
Yeah, we're obviously still waiting on some folks to get logged on, and hopefully we'll have enough for a quorum here to start the commission meeting. So you guys just hang tight.
Sounds good.
Yep.
I think we lost one.
We lose Antoine?
I think so. Oh, shoot.
Okay. All right. Good.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. I figured you would come back, Antoine. Good. You're muted. You're muted.
Talking to myself.
It happens. All right, looks like we have some more folks that have hopped on. Mayor Walker's here.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hey guys, I'm gonna run through security and sign back on, run on the other side, so I'll have more time to be here. So, is that all right?
And no, yeah, do your thing.
Thanks.
Yep. And I believe, I'm just trying to, Sarah, you might have helped me out with the, as far as the quorum to start the meeting. I believe we need 5 commission members.
Oh, no, we have enough
Okay,
to
sweet.
vote to start the meeting.
Okay. Well, certainly, I don't want to waste too much more time here. I know everybody's got a tight schedule, and I would certainly motion that we start today's Minority Business Commission meeting. Can somebody second?
I'll second.
Second.
Thank you. Well, we certainly got a an agenda. I
And
know-
we should vote.
Oh, we got to vote. I'm sorry. Do we vote to start the meeting? Do we have a vote?
All in
All in
favor,
favor?
ayes.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye,
All right, sweet. Thanks for keeping me honest, Sarah.
that's okay.
No, we can, Sarah, do you want to go forward and actually, as far as the meeting minutes from last time and then motion, we can look at the agenda this time?
Yeah, so let's see. Has everyone had a chance to review the April 22nd meeting minutes? And does anyone have any updates? Anything that you saw that was incorrect and should be corrected?
I was fine with it.
Okay, great. Then if you'd like to make a motion to adopt them.
Yeah, I'd like to motion to adopt the meeting from April 22nd, right? April 22nd? Certainly,
Second.
okay.
I'm sorry, who seconded?
It's Nakaya.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
And then we can vote.
Okay. So we'd like to vote on moving forward with accepting the last meeting minutes from the last session. Can we have a vote?
Aye.
Yes.
And I'm going to abstain because I wasn't present.
I vote yes to adopt.
Okay.
Mark, is your vote yes?
Yes. My vote is yes.
All right. Antoine, did you say yes?
I did, but I wasn't at the last meeting either, so maybe I should abstain.
Okay. All righty. I hand it back over to you, Mark.
Okay. Well, Sarah, I know you sent out the agenda for today's meeting. I know you also sent out a report for the Minority Business Commission. I'd like to just run through that, and then we can kind of move forward.
Would you like me to run through the?
Yeah, if you could.
Oh, okay, okay,
Please.
yep. So on today's agenda is, we're looking at the vice chair vacancy. And after that, a discussion of the Office of Economic Development's update, procurements update, any comments from the public, and then we can close the meeting. And we can discuss the report that I just sent out, and I do apologize for not sending it further back. I apologize for sending it so close to the meeting. But Yeah, so I think that it would be appropriate for us to discuss who would like to fill the vice chair vacancy.
Yeah.
If anyone would like to volunteer themselves. Oh, maybe we would like to do introductions. I don't know if everyone knows.
Yeah, it's a good call. So we can go forward with that. And 'cause I know we have a few new folks onto the call for the first time. Antoine, I think it's your first round, and Karen, certainly love to get to know you a little bit more. So I'm Mark Menifee. I'm the chair for the Minority Business Commission. Been on it since inception. So it seemed like many years ago now. But it seems, it's been so quick. But I've certainly had enjoyed this ride, and I've operated in this capacity as the chair now for just about a year. So I'm still kind of getting grounded on it. And obviously it's been a lot of things happening, but I'm excited to kind of get more work going here. I guess we can go next to Chris. You want to go?
Hi, all. My name is Chris Engel. I'm with the Office of Economic Development, and I am a new face to the commission. Usually you would have seen our Minority Business Coordinator, Zoe Smith, in this role, and/or Holly Lee. Both of them have left the city. So I am the representative today from the Office of Economic Development, and along with Sarah and Vernice from the Office of Procurement. So good to see you all today.
Yeah. Sarah?
Yeah. My name is Sarah Hawthorne. I'm the Minority Business Procurement Coordinator. And I'm also, so I act as the liaison between the Minority Business Commission and the Procurement Office, as well as City Council. I'm here to work with any of the commission members, setting agendas. I'm also here to take notes, post things to the public that we talk about, keep things working for the commission going.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Bernice, how about yourself?
I am Vernice Brooms, and I'm the procurement manager here in the procurement department of the city of Charlottesville, and I work with Sarah.
Awesome. Mayor Walker, you need no introduction. Was there anything you want to add?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm the council liaison for the Minority Business Commission.
Thank you. And Antoine, you want to kind of give us kind of the scoop and who you are and what brings you to the meeting today? I'm sure we recruited you, so go ahead.
My name is Antoine Brinson, owner and founder of Culinary Concepts, a training school here in Charlottesville. Not sure how I ended up here. Somebody sent me an invite, and they knew if it was on my calendar that I would show up.
Yeah.
No, I've watched the development of the Minority Business Council, and I'm excited about the direction it's going in, and just happy to be here and learn more about what's happening and be a part of the change.
Yeah. Thanks, Antoine. Karen, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you all. Thanks. Hi, I'm Karen Woody. I am, relatively new to Charlottesville. And I am interested in this. I am a law professor, I actually teach at Washington and Lee, and I'm involved in helping set up minority-owned businesses in Lexington. And this seems similar, so I wanted to get involved in my hometown where I live, in Charlottesville. So that's
Nice.
why I'm here.
Okay. Well, hopefully you get to your flight on time. All right, and I'm Miss Lachin Parks.
Machine.
I'm
This
sorry.
is Sheen. Hi, I am the city social media marketing coordinator, and I'm just here to set up the Zoom and make sure it's live streaming.
Of course. Most important thing. Well, thanks for everybody going through introductions, and we've been at it now for a number of years, and we've made a lot of headway with some of the programs, and much in part to Chris's group and Sarah, Vernice, their efforts, Mayor Walker efforts, just to kind of help push the Minority Business Commission forward. Our role is simply to help, kind of be there in partnership with the city, as you can see, to help, help the community get involved, and also to really be a part of the developmental efforts of some of the programs that are being introduced with respect to the procurement side, as well as the kind of the developmental side of the outward facing community where, we're trying to really develop businesses to be great. So that's why we're here. We've been meeting now for, like I said, some years. We've lost a few members and we're kind of just trying to rebuild from that standpoint. So some of that today, we'll kind of cover that. And I guess we can start with like Sarah was going with the vice chair vacancy, just in terms of how we want to get that filled and kind of the process we want to go about going forward with that. As well, if there's any volunteers to help fill that role, Antoine. We certainly we can talk about that. So Sarah, I don't know, or anybody who's kind of had experience with this, I'm not sure what the path forward with how we want to go about doing that, but we can certainly discuss it.
Yes, it is in our bylaws. Someone can put forth their nomination and the members would vote, just straight up or down, whether that person would be nominated or not. So.
Okay.
And hopefully we have more than one person who's interested.
Hopefully. So I don't have any nominations myself. I'm not sure if there's anybody on the call who has any nominations or if they feel propelled to do so. But we can put it out there.
Maybe it would help if you kind of sort of, just describe some of the duties of the vice chair. That would probably be helpful to maybe, make someone who may be thinking about, nominating themselves, or maybe that position, may make them a little bit more comfortable, or they'll say, no, I really don't want to do this, or yeah, I think I can. So I think we just start with maybe some of the duties of that position.
And also just give you a little background, because I realized I didn't do a really good job with that. So the previous vice chair had actually had another job opportunity outside of the state, actually went to Atlanta. So that's why the vacancy is kind of open right now. So, we're in the process of, he's been out now since the last meeting. So it's just been a quarter. As far as roles, duties, pull it up. Sarah, were you pulling that up or?
Yeah, so the officers and duties, so we can have a chair and a vice chair. And so basically the chair will execute all documents on behalf of the commission, act as liaison between the commission and the offices of economic development and the procurement division, cause all resolutions, approvals, and other actions of the commission to be executed or carried out, determine that all matters delegated to the commission by state statute, city ordinance, or at the insistence of the city council are properly brought before the commission. And so the vice chair shall exercise the powers and perform the duties of the chair during the absence, disability, or disqualification of the chair.
And I'll add that, the vice chair, like, as the duties were outlined, obviously acts kind of on behalf when I'm not available or not present. It's kind of the backup, but more importantly, I think there's the vision. I know we kind of started, maybe within the past year or so, is working closely with the Sarahs, Bernice's, as we prep for these meetings, actually going in there and kind of getting behind the scenes in terms of the work that's being done and getting more acclimated with it. So we can kind of have that progress check, if you will, on some of the things that are kind of moving forward. And then we were able to kind of come into these meetings with more, just more an understanding of where things are at with some of the programs that are being put forth. So a lot of that's going to kind of just be kind of getting in the nitty gritty, if you will, of some of the things that are happening, as opposed to with these meetings, there's a lot more of report outs and I won't say surface level, but it's just not as much meat, as we can able to get through, given a time frame. It's more behind the scenes work that's being done. So it's a great opportunity. So with that, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll certainly reach out and try to get nominations. I don't think we'll have any for this session, but it's something we'll work on. All right.
That works.
Move to the next item. A second. All right. Agenda just fell off my screen here. 1 second. All right, there it is. Okay, so next up is the Office of Economic Development update. I believe Chris.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Mark. Happy to be with you all today. Give you a quick update on where we are. As you can tell, we do have an opening for our Minority Business Development Coordinator, and we are seeking to fill that position. So we are short-staffed and have been for the last several months on that. We did post that back in May, received some applications, but did not proceed with the interview process given the small number that we did receive. We paused it for a bit. We have reposted that as of mid-August, and we are receiving applications again, and we do have that open until filled at this point, and we are receiving some. We have not sorted through them and determined kind of a next step for interviews, but we are receiving them again. So I would encourage and ask the commission to be aware of that, share that with your networks. If you know of anybody who's interested in potentially serving in that role, we would love to have them make an application and become part of our process. Let's see. So we do intend to fill that. We've like I said, this is our second go of it. I was just reading an article yesterday that about 50% of the companies out there have openings of some sort, many of them multiple, and it is really a challenge finding applicants in this current environment for a number of reasons. It's a bit unusual. Typically, when the city puts out these type of positions, we'll get 50, 75, in a 2-3 week period. But we are consistently seeing many fewer than that at the moment for a variety of reasons. So stay tuned on that. We do hope to do some interviews as soon as we get a reasonable batch to review. And Mark has volunteered to be part of the interview process as we kind of move through that. So appreciate that, and that will be another connection point for the commission on the hiring of this role. So wanted to update you all on that, and then just a couple other activities that we've been involved in.
Chris, I have just a quick question. Was Mark involved with reviewing the applications that came in March and May?
No, we never got to the interview process. Mark volunteered to be part of the interview process when we do that piece. So,
well, it may be helpful if Mark, since he's the person from the commission, can also take a look at the applications and just see if they catch anything that you all may miss.
Okay.
Open to that. I'm
okay.
Fairly available for that.
So just a couple other updates based on what we've been doing in the meantime. Some of you might be aware that we have put together what we're calling the Recovery Roadmap, which is a plan for business recovery in Charlottesville based on the pandemic. And we've put this together over the spring. You all had some focus group sessions that actually helped inform this, as in conjunction with some other sessions we had with business owners in the March, April timeframe. We consolidated all that into a 16-point plan that has a number of key initiatives and programs that we intend to implement over the next 12 to 18 months. So that has begun. We do have some American Rescue Plan funding that has passed through from the federal government to help support this. So we are off and running on that. The first element that we put in place was a business training series, which was free to business owners. There were 5 different training sessions that happened mostly in the month of May, and things like bookkeeping, photography, social media, human resources basics. These were short courses, 5 hours long, 3 hours long, afternoon type courses that we put together as one of the elements of the training and resources component of the recovery roadmap. So that happened in May and June. We released another round of what we call our BRACE grant, which is building resilience among Charlottesville entrepreneurs. We had done this back in 2020 as part of the early COVID response. So this was another round of BRACE grants, and we issued that, I believe, in August timeframe, in late July, August, and we've now issued and awarded 31 grants of up to $2,500 a piece. In fact, I think they were all $2,500 this time, to small businesses in the community that expressed interest and had a need, and had adapted their business model in some way to address the pandemic and needed some help with that. So $77,000 went out to those recipients, and 68% of those this go around were minority-owned businesses. Thought you all would be interested to know that. So we do intend to do another round of BRACE probably in the spring. And there are other elements of the recovery roadmap, but those are the 2 that have happened thus far. The next one that we're working on now is related to marketing, and we're putting together a marketing leverage grant, which will be similar in some ways to the BRACE grant, and then it's an application process. But we'll have 3 distinct elements of marketing assistance that will be available to businesses that apply and are accepted. Plan to launch that probably in the next 10 days as our next element of the plan. So just a few updates on that. You all have also probably heard in the past about the Business Equity Fund, which is a microloan fund that is administered by our partners at CIC, but was initiated by the city in 2018. So that is in place. Over the last quarter, there were 3 loans issued, totaling $23,000. There have been 16 total over the time frame of the fund, totaling $225,000. And perhaps more important is that the funds are starting to revolve, in that early applicants and recipients of loans are now repaying. And so those funds get relent in the form of a revolving loan fund. So very few deferrals or folks that are behind on payments. In general, folks are keeping up. There was a period of time where some grace was given during the pandemic, but at this point, funds are returning to the fund and will be able to be relent. In the last quarter, we also made several referrals. We typically field the referrals and get them ready for CIC to receive a loan application. So we're continuing to see some interest there. Also, related to that, there's a business recovery fund that was established last year, in June of last year, in response to COVID. The city, the county put funds into that, and some private sector dollars also match that. That exists. Those funds were all lent out, and those are returning as well. So that will be a revolving fund as well. In the last quarter, there were three loans made there, totaling $36,000. So just some examples of financial funding that continues in support of the business community, and those funds continue to revolve and will be available to continue to support. So I think those were the key updates I wanted to share with you all at this point. Like I said, I would remind you to share with your networks our minority business coordinator position that is open, and refer folks. And we'd love to have them as part of the pool. thank you all.
Thanks, Chris. I just had one quick question on my end. As far as backfilling, obviously Holly and Zoe, we want to maybe comment on just ways in which you guys have kind of helped continue moving forward with the things that they were kind of initiating and the programs that they were managing. Is there any gaps right now, or how have you guys move forward given their vacancy?
We are trying to keep all the plates in the air. Obviously, without staff for some of these programs, like Go Startup is a good example. We had another one of those planned to start just as Zoe announced her departure, so we had to cancel that. So obviously, things like that we're not able to really launch those in good faith, knowing we don't have a dedicated staff person to make it run and run effectively and efficiently. So we have had to defer some items like that. We are doing our best to keep things going, like the recovery roadmap, for instance. All those elements we're able to keep going with the staff that we have, but it is challenging without staff thinking and doing these activities on a daily basis. It's not an excuse. It's just a situation we're in at the moment. We hope to get out of that and get back on track with full complement of the activities y'all were used to seeing as the Minority Business Program was developing. Still, quite frankly, in its infancy, but it was almost 2 years in at that point, and hope to get back to that soon.
Okay. Any other questions?
I have a question about just the racial makeup of the minority businesses that received those grants. Do you have that information?
I don't have my fingertips. I'm sure we do have it because we did collect it. And we can figure that out and share that back. I know Jason is on probably as an attendee. He might know it, but we can figure that out and share that back. But I do know it was a broad group of minorities in that group.
Good question.
Chris, is there a way to how is the how can the city or is anyone tracking the changing landscape in our small businesses? Like, how can we know who has closed, who's opened, sort of the impact of the pandemic on our small business community? I'm not saying that the city should track that, but do you know where we could sort of find that information?
We did maintain a list during the height of COVID in terms of closures. We don't necessarily know of openings, if you will, but we did have a closure list. We also do the vacancy report, which is an indicator of what you're speaking of, which looks at retail vacancy. So it's not businesses, all businesses, it's retail storefronts. And that's a biannual report that we continue to produce that's available. It's an indicator, and currently we just finished the July version of that. And, you see closures, you see openings almost every time. So there's a bit of churn. There's a little bit more right now than normal. But overall, that indicator would suggest that it's still a fairly healthy environment. The rate is, the highest our rate has ever been after the 2008 recession was 9.5%. It's much lower than that. It's in the 5s right now. So still a fairly healthy environment, but a lot more churn than you would expect. But the situation is very unusual, as we all know with the pandemic.
Thank you.
Good questions. Anybody else with questions for Chris? All right, we'll take you off the hot seat, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the next update is from procurement. Vernice, any one of you want to comment on that?
Absolutely. So we have a report on our activities for the past year or so, and some upcoming activities that we'd like to report on. As everyone in the commission should have received by now, we have a strategy document that the commission put together when it was a task force. And one of those ways of increasing the number and scale of Charlottesville minority-owned businesses and participating with the city of Charlottesville is by having the minority business procurement coordinator, which is me, attend the pre-conference and pre-bid meetings. And so starting the second half of FY21, I've been attending the some of the pre-bid and pre-proposal conference meetings, talking to potential bidders and offers about the city's supplier diversity program and how to search certified businesses. And we've also, I don't think that we mentioned this at the time, but in the report, you will see that we have a new feature on our website where people can sign up to receive notifications when a contracting opportunity has been posted to the bids and proposals page. And so we sent out a targeted email in June of 2020 to the vendors in our city's database, informing those vendors of the opportunity to subscribe and sign up. And you can receive a text message or an email when current bid and other contracting opportunities become available. All vendors are encouraged to sign up for the notifications. I also talk about that during the pre-bid and pre-proposal meetings. And it's really important because the city directly solicits for any of our contracting opportunities. So we have a bidders list. And so we'll send out our solicitations directly to those bidders or offerers. And the great thing about this new feature on our website is for those unknown vendors that we've never come across who are subscribed to this list, they now have a way of finding opportunities that they would not have known about because they found it through our website. And so, and they can get automatic updates when anything is posted on there. When an addendum is posted, they'll also get a notification so that they can check back and see, oh, I need to provide additional information. It's a really great feature. We've posted a screenshot of how many subscribers we have in each category as of this morning. I've encouraged our staff at these pre-bid and pre-proposal meetings to sign up as well because they find it to be a helpful feature. They're like, oh yes, this has actually gone through, this has been posted. So in case we have to meet legal requirements, like you have to post this has to be available to the public. And sometimes the computer may not, you think it's been posted and it's actually not been, but this will send you a confirmation when it's done. So it's another check. It's another level of confirmation that some things have been done, and it's been very helpful. We are also reaching out to city employees concerning the minority business program. There will be 2 classes held this month in September. I've included the class description in here. We're basically going to be talking about the city's minority business program in the context of the wider US small business landscape, and how spending funds in support of diverse businesses is a good thing. And attendees will take away resources and tools to find diverse businesses that comply with the city's procurement guidelines under the small purchase program. So we'll be focusing on that. These will be virtual programs or virtual classes that will be held twice this month. And now we've come into the statistical information. So when you see, we have a legend here, and The blue represents the minority businesses, the minority vendors. The small is represented in orange. I'm sorry. Yes, small is represented in orange, and women are represented in gray. Any of those designations that you see is going to be certified vendors through the Virginia Department of Small Business and Supplier Diversity. So they will have been designated small, women, minority, veteran-owned, or micro businesses. And altogether, we call that SWAM-O designation. And everyone here has heard that a million times, but for some of our newer members who may have heard that a couple of times, that's what that means. It encompasses, again, the small, women, minority, micro, and veteran-owned businesses. You'll also see some other designations like DBE, which stands for the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. And that's the federal designation for the minority, basically what we call the Minority Business Program. And WBE is the federal designation for Women Business Enterprise. So basically women-owned businesses. If you take a look at the first chart, yes.
Were you sharing your screen? I cut you off there.
Oh, I'm not.
All right, cool.
Sorry.
Would you like? Do you want to share so they can at least follow?
I actually have it set up on my phone. Let's see. It's not set up.
Want me to share?
Yes, that would be fantastic if you can have that
Thanks,
set up.
Denise.
I apologize. It's
yeah, I imagine most people may not have gotten an email. That's why I asked.
Yes, no, I should have thought of that. My work computer has been, it's not open programs and it's not been responding to me. So yes.
It's all good.
Yeah.
We'll just kind of pause for Bernice pulls it up. Sorry, I didn't mean to again, Sarah.
No, absolutely. The visuals are important.
Yeah. Bernice, you're muted. Sarah, you want to walk Bernice kind of where you want to go?
If you'll go down to all active purchasing vendors, great, perfect. So this section of the update is reporting on all of the vendors who we have had a purchase order with. So our fiscal year starts July 1st and it ends June 30th. So you'll notice in our little chart to the side that July 1st, 2020 is when this time period starts and it ends June 30th, 2021. And we have minority, women, small, and not certified. And that just means that that's everybody else, everyone who has not registered their business through the Virginia Department of Small Business and Supplier Diversity, even if they might qualify as any of those types of businesses, if they are not currently certified through that agency, then we put them in the not certified category for this report. So you can see the breakdown that we've had for the minority, women, small, and not certified. Now, that's just the active vendors. We have many more vendors who are registered in our system, but did not actually have a PO come up in our system this past fiscal year. I think everyone understands that during the pandemic, the city cut back on its projects and only did those projects that were absolutely necessary. Yes, Bernice, if you want to scroll down to the, oh, does anyone have any questions on all active vendors? broken down by certification type. Okay, yes, let's go to the next one. So we have the total purchase order spend. Again, we've broken it down by certification type. You can see how the biggest piece of the pie is going to not certified vendors. I will say that while the city has been remotely working, we have been using a contract with a minority vendor for teleworking. So our spend for minority business has gone up. That 1.59% is an increase in spend for the city.
Okay.
All right, Thomas Jefferson. Okay, so one of the priorities identified in the strategy document is spending money locally. So the city cannot legally say that we're going to spend X amount of money with minority, small, or women businesses, right? But we can say we would like to have a focus on spending locally. And so we're reporting out on the Thomas Jefferson Planning District 10 area, what that spend looks like broken down by minority, small, and women categories. Let's see.
Can you explain a little bit more about I'm just ignorant right now, but what's the Thomas Jefferson Plan District 10?
Include?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Mm-hmm. So that covers the city of Charlottesville, the counties of Albemarle,
Okay.
Louisa, Greene, Fluvanna, and Nelson.
Okay.
All right.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we've also taken a look at what our purchasing was within the Planning District 10, the Thomas Jefferson Planning District 10 in 2020 compared to 2021 across the certification. And we also looked at that through the lens of our purchase order spend. But let's look at the Thomas Jefferson Planning District 10 first. Again, I think that you'll see a huge jump in the minority spend just because the city is spending with some of those vendors who are helping us go remote, work remotely. Let's see. And I think that FY20, the city really abruptly cut back on its spending. And because you'll see later on, so the Thomas Jefferson 10 numbers, it's a little harder to see, but basically FY20, when the pandemic started, there was a period of time where, all projects for spending money came to a halt when we were trying to order everything, put everything in order, and all projects had to be approved through the city manager's office. And so those were just the major projects that were being approved. We were being very careful because we didn't know what the landscape was going to look like, how long that we were going to be on lockdown, how long this was going to last. If only we knew then what we know now.
Mm-hmm.
So Careful spending. I think that we've, made our way through really well. And then looking down at our overall PO spend, again, you can see, $20 million difference between FY20 and FY21, just in general. And that's just because of that, the pandemic. But again, a large part of the increase in minority spend is due to the City of Charlottesville employees being teleworking, which is great. I'm very glad that we were able to find a vendor who is a minority-owned certified business who can assist the city in this way, which is awesome. Does anyone have any questions? Oh, yes. So the note here. So the information that we have included here, this does not reflect any credit card spend. This does not reflect any of the spend like through, a wire transfers or anything like that. This is only purchase order spend. So this is what we can lay our hands on.
Okay. Just general, I mean, so it seems like a lot of the spend is for non-certified businesses. I mean, is there any indication of those non-certified? I think I already know the answer, but is there any indication of what percentage of those would be minority businesses or any indication there?
I don't think we can't tell they're not certified, so they're not identified.
Right.
Of course, the city did implement a new piece to our vendor registration module. It's called self-certification. So yeah, if you self-identify as minority, if you self-identify as woman-owned, if you self-identify as, small, a small business, then we now have a feature that can capture that data. We had about 7 vendors during this fiscal year 21 to self-identify. We don't capture that spend because that's not how we report. We are only reporting the state certified businesses, but we wouldn't have any other way to identify all of those other vendors. But that is why we do push at like all of our events, our outreach events that we would have had if it weren't for the pandemic with the Department of Economic Development. When we have those, all of those vendor fairs and things, the only thing we can do is push, and try to encourage those vendors to get certified by the Small Business and Supply Diversity, state certification. Now, we can't promise business or we can't designate spend to go to those, but they can do it at the state level. So really it's in their best interest to do that because the state does, allow set-asides and things like that. So we always push, we always encourage and things like that. And that's one of the things Sarah does when she goes to pre-proposal meetings and conferences and things like that. And when we hold, when we just interact with the businesses and things like that, we always encourage them, but we also know it's a cost associated with that. And it's also time consuming because, if you've been involved in the commission for any amount of time, you've probably heard it's kind of time consuming. It's costly, but we've even had folks to come and train and just show you exactly how to do it, to sign up on site. So,
Okay.
I don't think there's a cost associated with it, with getting the certification.
Maybe not in dollars, but
in
time is money.
Yes.
So, and when you're running a business and you're trying to, especially a small business, and it's you and your partner,
yes,
it's kind of hard to dedicate that time to get all that paperwork filled out. And so that's where I'm going with that.
Yeah. And I guess your focus kind of looking ahead, where would that be in terms of trying to, one, increase obviously the certifications, but I mean, just to get folks, and, you know, integrated into the procurement side of things? What do you guys see the focus should be?
So so I am attending this pre-proposal and pre-bid conferences, encouraging folks to, if they are not already SBSD certified, to become SBSD certified. And so that's one way, is to talk about the advantages of obtaining that certification. And so I think right now, while events and activities on the wider scale, like those vendor meet and greets, are sort of canceled or not really happening as they were pre-pandemic.
Right.
So those are opportunities to really interact with our vendors and to talk about it. And that's where we do.
Okay. Any other-
Bernice, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I don't. I'm just not for that part, but just to let some of maybe our newer members know that we actually have a minority business directory. And so Sarah put that together with all of like just the focus in the beginning on like the minority vendors, and, you know, we've expanded it, you know, to SWAM, small women and minority owned, because a lot of times, you know, we get excuses from maybe some of our, you know, end users. It's hard to find. I don't know. Sometimes people are creatures of habit. They just want to continue to solicit from whom they have solicited for the last, you know, 5 times. And so that directory was really helpful because it's broken down, you know, by certification type. It focuses on the planning district 10. It has the vendors, all their contact information, even, you know, what they sell or, you know, they buy, and we focus on things that the city would actually buy. And so it's an easy tool, easy button. You know, they can go straight there and they can go down a list, they can search it. You know, if you're looking for catering, if you're looking for, you know, different other services or whatever, it could be, you know, some type of electrical or plumbing or whatever it is, you can go to that directory that's out there, which is also posted out there on the website as well, city employees, and they can, you know, you can find vendors. So we're trying to really make it, you know, easier for our end users here at the city to connect with those, you know, those certified businesses and things like that. So we're really trying to push, you know, we can't promise, you know, business, but we can certainly solicit, we can, you know, we can solicit we can, hey, put the opportunity out there in front of you. And, you know, of course we have to follow the rules and regs and stuff like that when it comes to a water contract, but we do our best to include those businesses in our solicitation process.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for sharing that, Bernice. And if anybody wants to get on that list, just anybody who may be on the live stream seeing it, I mean, how can they go about doing that?
So for the directory, so they would need to be SBSD certified. And so if they're not already certified, then they can go to the Virginia Department of Small Business and Supplier Diversity and go through the process of becoming, you know, SWAM certified. And then we go and we update, or I update the directory every quarter. It hasn't been quarterly since the pandemic, and you know, I think every department has been short-staffed
Right.
in the city. I don't think anyone's been left untouched. So I think I updated it maybe earlier this year, but I haven't updated it this summer. So, but we do update it. So if you are new and you just got your certification, you can email me your number that they give you and the expiration date for your certification number, and I can look you up and include you in our directory.
Cool. And any questions? More questions? I was gonna ask one more. I just wanted to kind of get the floor before I could just kept asking questions. Any more questions for Sarah? I'm sorry, go ahead, Sarah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if, I know that we just gave you this report. If you have any follow-up questions afterwards, please contact me, let me know. Because sometimes it might take a little while, like just to process and to go, oh, this just popped into my head. So you can always reach out to me later
Yeah.
if you have any questions.
Cool. And I kind of want to know on a little high note with what you were saying. You mentioned that through the pandemic, you were able to kind of, I guess, link up with some minority business, or at least one minority business, and that's what kind of spiked up the uptick there. I mean, how did that play out? And you don't have to say anything specifics about the business, but was there something, a good story out of that, or what?
From my understanding, when I looked into it, when I first noticed this, we are paying them quarterly because they are supporting our IT department.
Nice.
In helping everyone telecommunicate. So it's a big chunk of change.
Yeah, looked like
which
it.
is awesome.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if it was a new business or you guys were just kind of actively, engaging them and proactively engaging with them beforehand or what, but it sounds like they linked up with us somehow.
I think that we were doing some things with them before, but not at this scale.
Okay.
So it was definitely an increase in spend.
Yeah, certainly noticeable. Okay. Well, if there are no more questions, we can move on to the next agenda item, which is the open public comment, I believe. Let's make sure. Yes. So any comments from the public at this time?
Doesn't look like anyone raised their hand or anything.
Yeah, I don't see anything. Okay. Well, with that, I lost my agenda again. What was next, Sarah? Keep losing it on her phone.
Closing the meeting. So I guess just a
Close.
motion to close and we'll vote to
Right.
close.
Okay. Well, with that, I will motion the meeting for closure. Does anyone second?
Second.
Thank you. And we'll go to a vote on closing out the meeting.
Aye.
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 Okay. All right. Well, thank you. With that said, I will end today's session. Thank you all for joining. Look forward to have you at our next session next quarter. And thank you. I'll leave it at that. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.